Welcome to Irvine Influencers. I'm Valerie Starn. Feeding Orange County since 1983. What does it take to run the Second Harvest Food Bank? We're going to meet the woman in charge. Claudia Bonilla Keller takes us inside the massive distribution center located on 6.5 acres on the outskirts of the Great Park. The Second Harvest Food Bank staffers are outnumbered by teams of volunteers.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for giving us the most valuable resource you have, and that is your time. Distributing 42 million pounds of food is not a small operation, and we're not a small nonprofit. We have 112 people on staff, plus the thousands of volunteers that give us their time every single day of the week to process that food and make sure that it's ready to go out to one of our partners.
Second Harvest has been serving Orange County for more than 40 years.
We had humble beginnings as a program of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in 1983 at a packing house in Orange. Much smaller scale, all donated food.
Claudia grew up in Torrance, graduated from UCI, and finished her master's at Cal State Fullerton.
Growing up in an immigrant family, while we weren't rich, I always had the basics in life. I always had housing, I always had health care, I had world-class public education. And I grew up knowing and being very hyper-aware that those things were very important for anyone to have any shot of doing anything.
Last year, over 42 million pounds of food were delivered to partners who operate pantries throughout Orange County, including school sites from as young as preschool all the way up through college. They also have a mobile pantry truck that visits places like senior centers and neighborhoods.
Today in Orange County, 1 in 9 adults experience food insecurity. 1 in 8 children, about 87,000 children experience food insecurity. So the problem has only gotten worse over time. So food banks, and ours in particular, have also had to grow.
Beyond fighting hunger, the food bank aims for broader solutions.
They ask me, what exactly is food insecurity? I ask them, do you know what you're having for dinner? I know what I'm having for dinner. Do you know what you're having for dinner tomorrow? No. Are you worried about that? No, I've got a refrigerator full of food, or I can go to a restaurant. Okay, you have food security. You're not worried about where your next meal is coming from. And really, food insecurity is just that, is a lack of certainty and a lack of resources to provide for an adequate and regular diet that all of us really take for granted today.
On this day, volunteers are repackaging donated fruit.
These oranges don't make the cut. They don't exemplify what we believe is dignity in food, so they're gonna go to compost. We do not like to ship anything that we would not serve our own families. There's dignity in food, and we want to preserve that dignity through the food that we ship.
The work happening here goes beyond providing the staples. The goal is well-rounded nutrition.
We know that many of the people we serve have poor health outcomes for things like heart disease, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, all those chronic diseases that are directly related to diet. Folks experiencing food insecurity are more likely to get food to make that worse, and that's the last thing we want to do.
Many healthy foods require refrigeration. This enormous cold storage space is the size of 1/3 of a football field, and their fleet includes refrigerated trucks.
We want to give people good food. Produce, lean protein, milk and eggs that is actually going to positively impact their health and hopefully positively impact their situation.
Most of the food is donated or purchased, but some is rescued from grocery stores. Over here I'm seeing steak, I'm seeing free-range chicken.
Yes, you're seeing protein, which is the holy grail of food banks. We're able to have this food here because of our grocery rescue program. We work with virtually every major grocery retailer here in Orange County, and we pick up their excess food. Not expired, not end of life, but excess.
Just a few miles away, the food bank also grows food at the Harvest Solutions farm. Last year, they harvested over 2 million pounds of fresh produce, again largely with the help of volunteers.
At the farm, they're planting, they're harvesting, they're weeding, and they're making sure that the crops that we pull out of the field make it here to the distribution center and can get right out to the people that we serve. So it truly is a labor of love for the community and a willingness to learn and do whatever they need to do. And they're just amazing people, every single one of them.
Volunteers might come by themselves, with their families, a church group, or teams representing a company or a professional organization. Some serve once a year, some every week. Helpers can be as young as 7 here at the farm or 13 at the main center.
They might be working produce, picking the yucky leaves off a cabbage. They might be packing down oranges into smaller green mesh bags. They may be relabeling cans that we need to relabel. It's a whole kind of plethora of activities, but without these thousands of volunteers, there's no way we could move 42 million pounds of food.
But the challenge ahead will be to keep up with the growing demand.
Our most formidable challenge is finding the resources to do more. Everything that we do, to be blunt, costs money. And whether it's obtaining food, growing food, even getting food donated, if you think about it, when something is donated, it still has to be processed here, it still has to be driven someplace.
Second Harvest also relies on both state and federal assistance. And like other nonprofits, they're bracing for change.
I am concerned about the immediate future. There has been changes on the national landscape from a policy perspective that is directly going to impact folks in our county. I worry about the system being able to hold because it is a fragile system with ultimately limited resources. So this year will be a trying year for food banks, food pantries, and really any nonprofit that is in the social service sector. So that keeps me up at night.
But Claudia has faith in her volunteers, donors, and her exceptional staff.
Thanks for being here today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good to get back.
On a day-to-day basis, I absolutely love the people that I work with. I have never worked with a more committed and compassionate and talented group of individuals from the warehouse to the offices.
So as they've done for the past 4 decades, the food bank will forge ahead with their mission.
To put out more, we simply need more of everything, more volunteers, more food, and yes, more financial resources, because that's what it's going to take to keep feeding folks in Orange County.
At the Second Harvest Food Bank for Irvine Influencers, this is Valerie Starn reporting.